Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to another new video. Yeah, I'll be honest here. Okay, I don't have the actual colors yet. I don't have the Schmincke Super Granulating Tundra and Forest colors yet because I ordered from their supply store in Singapore, and they told me that the paints will only come in March. So if you're looking for actual paint swatches, I don't have any actual paint to show you, so you may want to look at the other videos that I'll link that below. I can't wait to try them. So I figured, why not I try to predict how the colors will look like, or estimate or make a educated guess how those colors will actually look like when I receive them. So what I did was I actually looked at the pigment information that's on Jackson's, and also I emailed Schmincke to check with them, can you give me more information? And so what they did was they sent me the paint labels, which I thought is probably gonna be like accurate, right? Okay. And I also compared like paint swatches that's on the the art supply websites, and arrived on how we could mix those colors in the two range. I think it would be very interesting to, when I get my hands on the actual tubes, to swatch it and to check, like what I have predicted versus the actual one. I think that'll be pretty fun. Let's get started. There are 10 colors in the new release and 5 in each range, just like the previous ones. So here are the pigment information. And there are 4 triple pigment colors. And most of the pigments, or many of the pigments, are actually brown based or greenish base. So that's why the range is called Forest or Tundra. So before we start, I would just like to explain that from my experience with the earlier ranges, the Glacier, Galaxy, and the Deep Sea range, I know that Schmincke will include existing granulating colors in their current super granulating mixture. So I brought out my dot card. So for the swatches, I'm using the remaining colors. I have no choice but to actually mix them on the paper. That is not optimum, but I think that is really what I can do. For some of these colors, for example, Potter's Pink, I've actually ran out. I ran out of the colors. And for such situation, I will actually use similar pigment, a single pigment color from other brands to replace colors. For example, Tundra Pink, Tundra Violet, Tundra Green, and Forest Green. It's pretty straightforward because there's only one pigment that's available in that color range. First up, let's look at Tundra Pink. So Tundra Pink is made up of PB29 and PR233. This is a reference photograph that I've taken from Jackson's art. It's one of the articles that they wrote to publicize the two series of colors. And I believe that this color here is probably more, it's probably more pink. It's violetish, and it's probably more pink than blue. So I would say it probably falls here, around this region. All right. Next we have Tundra Violet. Tundra Violet is also made of 2 pigments, which I can find only like 2 colors in the range, which is PB29, French Ultramarine, and PBR6, Moss Brown. Okay, so when you compare the picture reference to what I've gotten when I mix the 2 colors together, you realize that it's actually more violet for the Tundra Violet, whereas what I have here is really more grey. So I'm not sure whether it's because I actually got the wrong pigment, or there's actually some inaccuracies on the Jackson's website. You may not be able to see very clear here, but the brown is actually more yellow than this one. This one is more reddish than this brown. So we shall see when we receive when I receive the paint. Next up is Tundra Green. Tundra Green is made up of Moss Brown and Cobalt Green Pure. So this is PBR6 and PG19. I must say that I think this is pretty close, and it's probably more brown. It's a warm color and more brownish than green, so it should be around here. And this is Forest Green. For Forest Green, it is made up of Mahogany Brown, PBR33, and Cobalt Green Pure, PG19. So this color here probably would have more green than brown, and I think it splits into green and brown, and probably this it's probably this area. It probably looks like that. So for the other 6 colors, it is not that straightforward because they are actually multiple colors that's available for the pigment that's used in these colors. So for example, forest blue is one of them. Forest blue is made up of PB36 and PBK11. So PBK11, that's only mask black. But for PB36, there's actually 2 colors that's using the same pigment. One is cobalt cerulean and one is cobalt green turquoise. The black, the granulation is provided by the black, and the base color is kind of a bluish, greenish kind of color. So my guess is that they actually mixed it, but of course it could be just cobalt green turquoise, we are not sure. So this is the final color that I arrived at, and we will see whether I'm right when we receive our actual color. So if you think that the forest blue was complicated, it's gonna get even worse. So we have another 2 colors that has an issue, and that would be forest gray and the tundra blue. Reason being, they all contain PBr7, and there are 3 colors with PBr7 pigment. So we have to find out which is the actual one that they use to mix it. This is the maroon brown. Okay, this is used last in the previous series. This is burnt umber, and this is green umber. So they're all PBr7. The only difference is that the PBr7 burnt umber, it is not granulating. So the other 2 are granulating. So let's look at forest gray. So forest gray is made of 3 pigments: PBr7, PBK11, PG50, and it's described as having brown pigment, which is very obvious. And it has got some green pigment that is the least visible, which I think is probably contributed by the cobalt turquoise. And I do not think this color would make it because it is too red, so it gets eliminated. And we are left with these 2. Alright, and I believe based on, because the color is mainly a greenish gray, I would suppose this is probably the green umber is probably most suitable. And this is what I have gotten after mixing all of them, and I think it's pretty close. The next one is tundra blue. Tundra blue has 2 pigments, the French ultramarine, which is PB29, and it also has the PBr7. Of course, there's a possibility that they mix all the 3 colors in, but I don't think they would do that because it would be difficult to actually remember the ratio, and there would be probably too much to control. Let's try to deduce based on what we know. It says that it's a darker, cooler blue, so I suppose it is there's actually more ultramarine. And if you look at the pigment, right, it seemed like the color, the pigment, is actually more yellowish brown. So I think I could eliminate this one, maroon, and I could also eliminate the burnt umber, and I believe it should be the green umber. And for the remaining 3 colors, I was so confused and puzzled for a long time because they're all 3 pigment colors. The PBr7, PY43, forest brown has PG26, olive has PG18, and the tundra has PR233. The problem with this is, remember we have PBr7, which we saw just now, so there are actually three different colors. Second problem is PY43. There is no color that's made up of just PY43 in the Schmincke series at all. Nothing, okay? There isn't. So I decided to go back to the dot card and take a good look at all the pigments. Then I had to zoom in on the brown, and I was going through, and then I realized that actually 2 pigments, 2 colors that actually have PBr7 and PY43. like what? We have these 2 candidates here, okay, which is the PR, which has both colors, PBr7 and PY43. And I guess the difference is probably that the raw sienna, this one, is non-granulating, and it's a lot more yellowish, I would say. Forest brown is more like a green than brown, so I don't know why they call it forest brown. There's actually some brown granulation, if you can see from here. There's actually some brown granulation, And there's also a yellow cast, overall a slight yellow cast. So I think they may have mixed these two colors, which is the raw umber and the raw sienna, which is here. And the resulting color, yeah, is this one, right? I think it's okay, pretty similar. So the next color is forest olive. So I find forest olive pretty similar to the forest brown, in that they are both use the brown pigments and also a green pigment. However, the forest olive is a little bit more yellowish green. There's probably more yellow in it. So if you look at the swatch, which is over here, you do see like there's an overall yellowish cast. Yeah, and some brown granulation with slight green. So I believe it's probably a mixture of these two, and with the Viridian giving you the resulting mixture. Okay? Okay, so the next one is Tundra Orange. Tundra Orange is made up of a PBR7, PY43, which is what we're trying to decide here, and a Potter's Pink. So Potter's Pink probably give it the granulation. It's more yellow, so I'm keen to say that it's maybe or most likely raw sienna, but of course it can also be a mixture. But this one I just use raw sienna because it's more yellow. Okay, and that's the color that I have. So there you have it. My 10 guesses of colors, my guesses of how the colors will actually look, and how I actually mixed them, and how I actually predicted which colors were used in to make these super granulating colors. Of course I could be wrong. So for those who have the colors, what do you think? Do you think I'm like off for any of those colors? Let's have a discussion in the comment section below. And the actual review is here. You can actually click on the link over here to see how the colors actually look. So first, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. I hope it has been, well, entertaining, I don't know, or educative. If you'd like to see more of such videos, do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!